Hello, I'm Antonio Mora. This is the newsandnews.com Day in Brief. Today's top stories in 4 minutes. It's Monday, November 12th at about 7 p.m. The death toll continues to rise in the California fires, and many are still missing. The Camp Fire in Northern California is already the state's deadliest and most destructive. Some of the video that has emerged is among the scariest things I've ever seen. Already, it has claimed more than 6,700 structures, wiping out a town of almost 30,000 people. I can't find any wildfire in American history that has destroyed that many buildings. 2 new wildfires have broken out in Ventura and Los Angeles counties, where the Woolsey fire is still only 20% contained. It has destroyed hundreds of homes, including those of big-name celebrities, including Miley Cyrus, Neil Young, and Gerard Butler. President Trump is back from his controversial trip to Paris. He and the White House claim much was accomplished, but it's not clear exactly what. Today, the president said he told world leaders that the U.S. must be treated fairly on trade and military funding. He also jumped back into the Florida electoral mess, attacking the anomalies in Broward and Palm Beach counties. He claimed, quote, large numbers of new ballots showed up out of nowhere, and many ballots are missing or forged. He offered no evidence to that effect. He also said an honest vote count is no longer possible, claiming ballots are massively infected. Something is undoubtedly rotten in the state of Florida, but both sides are playing political games, oblivious to how this badly damages confidence in our electoral system. We'll see how the recounts play out, but barring something very unusual, I suspect the winners in Florida and Georgia will be those who were ahead on election night, but in Arizona, Kyrsten Sinema will prevail over Martha McSally. Surprise, surprise, a top think tank says North Korea is conning the U.S., improving small missile bases while publicly touting the dismantlement of its main launch site. Trust but verify is a Russian proverb made famous by Ronald Reagan to describe how the West should approach nuclear disarmament by the Soviets. But when it comes to the North Koreans, I'd skip the trust part. Also, Wall Street had a terrible day. The Dow and S&P 500 were down about 2%, while the Nasdaq plunged almost 3%. A big decline in Apple shares led to a very bad day in tech stocks. A rise in the U.S. dollar and concerns about trade didn't help either. In our alternate universes segment, the great divide between conservative and liberal media, bias exploded over the weekend on 2 stories. Let's start with Trump in Paris. Listen to how a CNN anchor described a procession of world leaders down the Champs-Élysées in Paris. Quote, you've got Macron, you've got Merkel, you've got Trudeau, you've got Erdogan, you've got a long list of world leaders there. Absent here, President Trump. This wasn't America first, it wasn't America alone, it was America absent. That was a news anchor, not a pundit. And CNN and others didn't even bother to mention the White House's explanation that security reasons made Trump go separately, just as Vladimir Putin did. A weak excuse in my opinion, but fair reporting required mentioning it. Then there was Trump skipping a visit to a cemetery for U.S. troops because his helicopter couldn't fly in the bad weather. I guess it was too much of an inconvenience to drive. Conservative media barely made a peep, treating Trump gently. Can you imagine what would have happened if President Obama had done the same thing? It's rank hypocrisy. And then there's the Florida recount. Media outlets on the left are doing what they can to portray GOP complaints about the Florida debacle as anti-democratic, an attempt to not count every vote. Again, imagine if the shoe were on the other foot and ballots were appearing seemingly out of nowhere while an election supervisor refused to say how many people voted. But those on the right, who are claiming fraud and an attempt at stealing an election without any specified evidence, are going too far, at least with what we know now. Hyperbole and hypocrisy on both sides. Finally, Stan Lee, the colorful creator at Marvel of some of the world's most popular superheroes, has died at the age of 95. Lee's fame, success, and influence grew even in his 90s as Marvel became a Hollywood juggernaut. We have all those stories and much more updated around the clock 7 days a week on newsandnews.com, where you will find all you need to know in one place. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the right of your screen just below this video, and please follow us on Facebook at Real News and News, and me on Twitter at AMora TV. I will see you again tomorrow.